Someone go ahead and put your guys live and ready.
Hey, Sacramento, how is everyone? It is Wednesday, and you're listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key, and we are selling Sacramento. If you've been listening to the show the past couple of weeks, then you know that for this month, and I've decided even through the month of January, I'm sharing my platform this month with Black-owned businesses who service the real estate community. So couple of weeks ago, we had sugar-coated cupcakes. And oh my goodness, that was divine having them on here. And if you're one of my clients, you have a very yummy treat coming your way in a few weeks, courtesy of sugar-coated cupcakes. I got to put that out there. And then we also had inspirations by Gina, and she is a Black-owned local florist. And I actually signed up for her Flower of the Month program. And so I got my second delivery yesterday, and it's a beautiful bouquet with a hint of Christmas in it. She's just super creative. She brought it over personally, and I'm just looking forward to what to expect in January. And so last week, we talked about Sacramento being the hottest market in 2021. I had to interrupt the Black-owned business segment to bring that because Realtor.com published it, the Business Journal published it, Market Watch published it, all of the major national papers published that our city right here in Sacramento for the year 2021 is going to be the hottest real estate market next year. And so we're going to pick back up today where we left off with featuring Black-owned businesses that serve the real estate community. And because of the COVID health restrictions, my guests for the show today are actually appearing online, yay, live via video stream. And I'm excited to have them here. So we have Sarah representing Infiniti Pro Cleaning. Say hello, Miss Sarah.
Hello. Hi.
And we have Mr. Johnnie Brooks with All Muscle Carpet Cleaning. I'm looking for I'm adding something that's not there, you guys. All Muscle Carpet Cleaning. Mr. Brooks,
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. So you guys, I have had Mr. Brooks do my carpets, and I got to tell you, I am like super busy. And I connected with him just via text. I did a little bit of research by going online and looking to see how legit he was. Everything was in order. For me to be comfortable with using you, you have to look professional. You have to have some folks saying that you did more than just a good job. And then your work needs to be stellar. And I got all of that just from going on his page and his website and looking and seeing how active he was. He was consistently busy. And so I was very comfortable to just shoot him a text. He answered my call right away. We lined it up. I threw a contractor lockbox on my property, and he was over there. I think he even came earlier. He's like, hey, I can get by there a little bit earlier. Is it okay? And boy, when he was done, he texted me a picture of the work, and I was able to rest and relax, you guys. Can I just say that it's a good feeling, especially if you're very busy and you reach out to people to take care of things for you, especially when it's pertaining to your home. And not only do they take care of it, but they're on time, reliable, the price is good. I would have paid him more. I'm telling you. And he got in and got out. Okay. And it was beautifully done. So I just got to give you that. So before we start with Johnnie, before we take a break, I would like to start with Miss Sarah. Ladies first. Tell us a little bit about Infiniti Pro Cleaning and your position there.
Well, Infiniti Pro Cleaning was created in 2019, and we clean residential, commercial, and we also do move in and move out cleanings. And we're really about, well, Leatrice Chambers is who I work for, and I think she's probably one of the best employers I've ever had. She's never hesitated to share her knowledge of owning her own business with me, and she's never held back from teaching me new skills and letting me step up in the industry. And she's been very proactive and productive as far as helping me out as an employee.
Awesome. Awesome. And how long have you been with Infiniti?
A little over a year.
A little over a year. I really like how not only did you step up to do this interview for her, because she's a very, very busy woman, but you came highly recommended very quickly. So she thinks very highly of you.
I think very highly of.
Good. And I can see the humility in you, and that goes a long way. That means you are a serious worker, because you are not on here right now trying to shine. You're just like, look, let's what you need me to say, Keisha. So I appreciate that. Mr. Brooks, tell us about yourself and about All Muscle Cleaning. How'd you get started, sir?
So All Muscle Carpet Cleaning has been in business now. We went live back in 2018. It's been a passion of mine for many years. I actually hired a Black-owned carpet cleaner to come out literally about maybe 17, 18 years ago, locally here in Sacramento. And I just remember seeing his presentation. He looked like a boss. He looked independent. He looked like he was doing well for himself. And I wanted to emulate that. And I had it in mind for many, many years. And when the opportunity came, I seized it. I seized the moment. So,
how did that opportunity come about for you?
So just hard work and dedication to earn up the money, to save up the money to be able to actually launch the business. Once I actually got started, I made the commitment that this is exactly what I was going to do. I was going to put everything into it, much like you would if you were trying to gain a position working for someone else. And so the idea in mind was to be a performance-based company to where we provide, optimum results for our customers and to give reasonable prices.
Awesome. Awesome. And so both of you have stories that I want you to share with our audience. The purpose of this show, the purpose of bringing on the Black-owned businesses, is because we are at a very critical point, I believe, in history, in U.S. history, in American history, where there's a change happening. And there's almost like a wave that is here, and you can either jump on it or run from it. And if you jump on this wave, you can do exceedingly well. I think there's a lot of financial gain that can occur if you are starting a new business or taking on new skill sets. I think you're going to be super successful if you don't fear fear and you jump on that wave and you ride that wave. You're going to go very far. To other people, it will appear like overnight success, right? But you both know.
Yeah, absolutely.
It ain't like that. You've been doing what you've been doing for a very long time to be able to what I like to say, build up the stamina to run and jump on that wave. You know, it's not just some kind of you can't just try to run and jump on the wave without having some practice and without having been doing it for a while. So we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to get into the deeper parts of how you got started. Where do you come from? I want other people to be able to relate to what you're doing, because everything that we see, every business that there is, everything that exists started as a dream, started as a thought in someone's mind. And in order for it to manifest itself, you got to step out and take some risks, right? You got to step out and do some things you've never done before. And you too would not be here today sitting where you are if you didn't do that. So think about what I just dropped, because we're going to explore that some more when we come back from the break. You're listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key, and we will be right back. Thank you, guys. So what we did, he was hooking up some sound stuff. If you see me look away, keep talking. It just means that
He's busy.
he's taking care of some things back here.
Oh, good.
So he got the mic hooked up to the keyboard to bring you guys in louder. Hey, Miss Aura. Am I saying that right? A-U-R-A. Aura.
He does need to speak up.
He needs to speak up a little more?
Because he speaks softer than the lady does. So
Mr. Brooks? You guys speak
I
up a
do.
little. He trying to
I
use
thought I was yelling over here.
it. So he said she
I'm
said
on
great.
these headphones. Maybe I need to disconnect.
Can you hear when you're, whatever you need to do to hear.
Like speakerphone.
So look, what I can do is I can try two ways. I can disconnect the headphones and see how that sound, and then I can reconnect them and see which one works better.
Okay.
So
yeah. Hey, Miss Leatrice, she's watching. She said, "Hey, y'all, listening to y'all from work. So proud of you, Sarah."
I got it though. If he just projected a little bit more.
Okay, so he said he has you through the system, through the board, but you need to project just a little bit more. Johnny,
one more time, I didn't hear you.
when you speak, he said project just a little bit more, just come out a little bit louder. He said he can see you on the board. He said you don't have to yell.
I got it, but it's just
How does this work? Does this project well enough or no?
a little bit more.
Oh, he said a
Like
little bit
this?
Yeah, man. Say it with your chest.
I'm literally yelling.
I know you are, brother. How does this work? Does this work better? And I want him to hear it clearly. That's it.
Oh, okay. He said he just wants it to be heard clearly.
Yeah, his information is great, but they need to hear him clearly. Because actually, the lady is
Okay, so
Oh, is she?
yeah.
Oh.
yeah, I actually hear her. She's very clear over there too. I'm a little jealous.
Said a little jealous.
That's okay, because I could make certain adjustments, but like I said, when you speak a little bit more, because then it matches your voice too.
Okay.
So like your voice is here, even though you're not talking loud,
Uh-huh.
but because it's coming to a second mic, it's a drop.
Oh, okay.
And plus,
Okay.
by pushing it too high, it'll go.
I want to make sure I have the soundboard is up there. So we've got the mic position right?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
What it is that thing wasn't working right. So that's why you see me on the ground.
Okay.
The first time I disconnected.
Oh,
I'm like,
I'm so glad I have you.
man.
Gracias,
You
señor.
had me working too, boy.
Okay, guys. So when we come back from the break, we're going to get right into your personal development stories. Okay.
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 What-
One question:
Yes,
how
ma'am.
detailed did you want this personal development story, and do you want me to add in?
Girl, I
Any-
want you to make them cry.
Make 'em cry.
Tell the truth. Yes. Because, people are going through so much and you never know tell your story. Because you don't know what somebody else is going through right now, that if they hear what you have overcome and then to see you now, and then you're going to talk a little bit about your future.
Okay.
And that helps give people hope. So yes. So when I say, tell us about yourself, how did you get to where you are?
Okay.
Okay. Because I'm going to say it just like that.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. Mr. Brooks, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I was doing something. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Hey everyone, we're back. You're listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key. We are selling Sacramento. And today we are talking to Infiniti Pro Cleaning representative, Miss Sarah. And we are talking to Johnnie Brooks, owner of All Muscle Carpet Cleaning. And we have looking on Miss Leatrice Chambers watching. That's the owner of Infiniti Pro Cleaning. So we want to give a shout out to her. We see her watching us live online. So we want to go back to each of our guests and have them talk to us today about how they got to where they are. I think it's super important that we hear the struggles. We often see the success. We often, Facebook and Instagram is good for promoting the stuff that you acquire after you've had the success. You know, people post all day, all the happy pictures, but we all know that there is a storm before you get to the sunshine. And not that I want them to lean all into all the horrible stuff, but we just want to know, how did you get here? How did you get to where you are? Talk to us, Miss Sarah.
Well, I originally started in the hotel industry, and I have moved from hotel to hotel, not really feeling that I was ever really listened to or taken for, mainly kind of felt like I was taken for granted. I felt overworked, I felt underpaid, and I just didn't feel like my values met with their values. And I ended up, actually, before I came to Leatrice's company, I had been through maybe 3 different hotels within a month, and just realizing that, you know, either one of them nobody spoke any English, so it was really hard for me, because I don't speak any other language, to communicate with my coworkers. And not that I have a problem with that, because I took out my phone and I did my Google Translate, and I said, hey, I'm going to figure out a way to talk to you guys regardless. And, you know, and that helped a little bit. But, you know, in the cleaning industry, there's a lot of people that don't want to, they don't want to work with you. They just, if you don't know this or that, then you're done, and they're not going to help you. But Leatrice has really, she's really came in and helped me learn and build new skills that I actually didn't before I started working for her. And I am very, very proud of her, and I'm very proud of myself for just continuing to find that job that I know I deserved, and the position that I deserve, and being treated the way that I deserve to be treated. And I think that the administration skills that she's taught me recently have really elevated my my resume as far as working goes.
That's good. And I was going to ask you to kind of elaborate on some of the things that you've learned being under Leatrice. What are the admin skills?
Scheduling would be one of them. I didn't know that. I didn't know any of that before I came to work with her. Emailing customers about quotes is definitely something that I didn't know how to do. And I think mainly the paperwork side of a business. And I call back customers and I talk to them. Communication skills is definitely something she has taught me, and I'm thankful for that.
That's huge. Those are very those are skills, like you said, that you can take with you, and things that if you didn't know them before, they'll take you much further, because, and not just take you much further, but they help make the business more solid. When you said, you know, scheduling, you would think, well, you would hope or expect that those things happen in most people's businesses, but they have to be taught, right? There has to be somebody there that's actually leading that to make that happen. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself personally. We talked offline about some of the things that you're looking to do in the future. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? And how is being with Infiniti Pro Cleaning helping you towards what you're planning to do?
Well, I see myself owning my own business eventually. I've been wanting to create my own house cleaning business, especially with COVID and what's going on right now. It's imperative that we all keep up to date with cleaning and making sure everything's sanitized. And Infiniti Pro Clean has definitely helped me realize the need for Black-owned communities, Black-owned businesses to come together, and so we can circulate the money and just the revenue in the community, and not necessarily give it to all the other communities that have for years have been thriving. And it's about time that we thrive as a Black community.
Yeah. And with that, I like that you mentioned that, because just the idea, if we have a house, or it doesn't even have to be a huge house, wherever you live, if you want someone to come through, we reach out to other businesses to come and do that. But not only is it good to know that there are Black-owned businesses that provide that service, but highly rated Black-owned businesses. It's not enough anymore for us to just be a business owner of ABC business. I need you to be quality. I need you to be able to perform. I need you to be able to have customer service skills. I need you to be able to schedule properly. I need your admin to be on point. I need y'all to be like Infiniti Pro Cleaning and all muscle carpet business owners. With that being said, Mr. Brooks, tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you get started?
Like I mentioned earlier, I saw a gentleman many years ago, and I wanted to emulate what I saw, not necessarily exact, but I wanted to be able to have that same model, if you will. And when I broke off into this business, there was a lot to learn. One of the biggest things that I picked up on is how people will try to minimize you, or the trust is not there. So I'll give an example, something that she had mentioned about the administrative portion of it. So in my business, I have to collect information from the customer, such as address, phone number, pertinent information in order for me to arrive to the site for service. And I've had quite a few people tell me they'll give me the address on the date of service. And
Oh,
unfortunately, that's just not the way business work. And so I would have to kind of essentially let them know that if we don't get all of the information that's necessary to schedule this appointment, the appointment won't go forward, you know. And that's
wow.
what I try to explain to them is that if you were to call a plumber, he's going to
Mm,
need your address to provide the service. And so a lot of, unfortunately, not even just our own community, but there are a lot of people who just do not trust you, even though there are stats out there that kind of, give reference to the type of service you're doing, that you are legit and so forth. So there's a lot of up and down in
that's
between.
heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking and disturbing to hear because, like you said, if someone Googled you and went on Facebook and saw all of saw that you have a legit reputation, I'm assuming they did that before they even called you. And it's just rude
Correct.
and disrespectful to say, "Oh, I'll give you my address the day you come." No, you won't, because guess who ain't coming? You better find some. That's what that
Right.
is. Yeah, that's heartbreaking that you have to experience that.
Yeah. So you begin, so you learn how to draw the line in the sand. You have to. Not all business is good business.
Mhm.
And I've had to explain that to many, many people that, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to take this job. And I've actually had people threaten to give a bad review as a result of me declining the service. And the other side of it too is that you deal with so many people, so many different personalities, and you have to be a chameleon. You have to be able to still keep a smile, still have to write out or type out or however you're communicating with that person, positive words that are still within the professional realm, and move
Mm,
on and either close the deal or walk away from the deal. It's one or the other. So
mm.
it becomes very interesting. Your work never stops as a business owner. Your work never stops. You do the physical aspect of it, and then you have to do the administrative portion of it. And
Mm.
that never stops. That's in the middle of the night. Some people, for whatever reason, they communicate with you at 12 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, it don't stop, and so
Wait, are you
the
communicating
balance
back?
is very difficult.
Are you communicating back at 12 and 3 a.m.? Can you hear me?
I have, especially when it's some type of messaging or something like that. I have, responded back because ultimately, in this business, if you don't take the job, someone else will. So you have to communicate because everyone wants to hear your voice. Everyone wants to see a response on their time. They don't care
Wow,
about what's going on in your personal life. They want their response.
that is good. That's excellent. And speaking of your personal life, Sarah, let's start with you. How are you balancing work life and home life?
Well, I think that help is definitely something that is needed, and work life and home life, truthfully, work isn't really work to me. Work is something I do every day anyways, and it's fun and it's something that I enjoy. So I really don't look at my job as a job. It's something that I was already doing, already trying to do, and already involving myself in. So I really enjoy it. And it's great being able to have trustworthiness and be able to prioritize and time management skills that I'm learning through Leatrice. And it's actually fun for me. It's not even a job.
And you have children, right?
Yes, I do.
So how much time are you spending on the job? And then how if I were watching you and I'm a mother of two and I'm considering, starting my own business, but I want to acquire the same type of skill sets that you have, what type of work schedule should I be looking at expecting to have?
Well, actually, in the beginning, I have dedicated a lot of my time towards, cleaning and learning about the industry. And I will say that I have had to spend a lot of time away from my children. But in the long run, finding Leatrice and meeting somebody like her that's actually been able to give me a chance to work at home now a little bit more with the administration work is definitely something that has helped me spend more time with my kids. So I think it's about finding the right employer, really, and just keep trying. Don't give up when it comes to finding the job you feel like you deserve and the job that you know that you need to help your family.
That's awesome. Mr. Brooks, how about you? I know you got a tribe. How do you do it? I watch you on Facebook and everybody just looks so happy. Your little guy, he's gonna have his own YouTube page. I know it, but you still get the job done. Tell us how you do that.
You start to learn how to multitask because both are critical, both are super important, both have a necessity to have it done. It needs to be done. So for me, honestly, most of the time my phone is sitting in my hand and I'm kind of multitasking. If the little guy want to come and wrestle around, I'll sit the phone down and it's time to rock and roll. And then, if there's a phone call that comes, literally, I take off running to the other side of the house because I don't like background noise. So I don't want my kids in the background kind of screaming and daddy, daddy, So, I have to get to the other side of the house really, really quickly. So, yeah, that's how.
That has to be a lot of fun. What is the ages? What are the ages of both of your kids?
So my youngest is 2 years old. That's little Johnnie right there. And I have an adult child as well. She's actually 22 years old.
So that's the age. When I said the ages of both of your kids, I meant Sarah, you say yours too. So not that you have two, John. I know you got more than two. But I meant the age range.
Yeah. Two.
So you said your youngest is Johnnie. Your youngest is how young?
Is that for me?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Yeah, my youngest is 2 years old. My oldest is 22 years old. Of course, the younger ones, they demand their time, and so you have to become very balanced with knowing how to balance time. So you're going to get very familiar with being uncomfortable. So you have to become comfortable with being uncomfortable.
So having children that are older than the teenage years, you've already gone through the stages, so you know kind of what to expect in advance with the younger ones. So that has to be beneficial. It's like, okay, I know what I'm getting ready to go through with this. So let me, what is your thought process? And because people are, one of the biggest things that stops people from getting out there and starting businesses and doing things different is having family and having kids and what am I going to do? So how are you making that happen?
Well, just to kind of go back to that, you have to seize the opportunity. There's no time greater than now. I've heard a lot of people put their dreams and aspirations off for the future. And the reality is the future is not promised the way it may appear in your mind. So you have to be adequate in your timing to just get it done. That's a commitment that's necessary when it comes to being a business owner. If you want to be successful, I feel you have to sacrifice now in order to have a better tomorrow.
Sarah, how about you?
Yeah, I've definitely had to sacrifice as far as spending quality time. Before I came to work for Leatrice, I'm not gonna lie, I probably wasn't able to spend a weekend with my kids in months. Like, yeah, it was horrible working for these big, the larger companies and corporations because they don't care what you got going on. They don't care. They don't even care if it's your child's birthday. Like, I've had to work on my child's birthday before, and they don't care. But working for a smaller business, I found that it's more about family and not about just about the larger picture of it. And it makes me feel great. So I can be at home now and I can spend more time with them. And my oldest is 12, my twins are 6. So
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. So the flexibility is a bonus. Can you
yes.
guys talk about the flexibility? Because I know as a business owner, that's one of the things I remember being 16 years old and saying, I will never work for anybody. And I stayed true to that. I ended up having to work for a couple of people just to kind of get, get the information, get grounded. But once I did, I've been pretty much a business owner my entire adult life. And I enjoy
Wow.
the flexibility and the freedom and being able to be there to raise my kids, to go to dance and football and all. There's so many benefits. So can you guys talk about that as well?
I would probably have to say the flexibility in the last year has been a lot more than in the past, but I haven't since working for Leatrice, the flexibility has been a lot better. But before that, I haven't really been able to have much flexibility. So I've kind of have been more subjected to the not as flexible side as far as
Mhm.
cleaning and dealing with the cleaning business. But
So you're
recently,
more
I've been able
appreciative now of the flexibility.
yes, yes. Now I
Mhm.
can stay at home and work a couple hours in the day, and then come back home, have the rest of the day to hang out, spend time, read books, watch TV, just spend quality time, which has been a blessing.
Awesome. How about you, Johnny? I know we have a little bit of
Oh, I
delay.
love it. Yeah,
Go
sorry
ahead.
about
Go ahead.
that.
That's all right.
But I love the flexibility. I love the flexibility. I do set my schedule according to my kids, but for the most part, I work a lot. I believe in you have to seize the moment, you have to seize the opportunity, you have to make the sacrifice now. I'm not as interested in days off right now. It's I have goals to accomplish, and so when I get to that place, then we can start talking about more time off. But for the time being, I'm able to get off within a reasonable time to be able to spend time with the children in the evenings. And then
Mhm.
some mornings I set it up to where I won't leave the house until about 10 o'clock or whatever the case may be. And that still allows for me to spend some time with the Lord and the kids.
Okay. Oh, and I heard you throw in the Lord. I heard you. I heard you. So let's talk a
Mandatory,
little.
mandatory.
Let's talk a little bit about that. I know that when you and I have had a couple different conversations about faith and the importance of having God in your life, how important.
Mm.
Talk. Just tell me. I'm gonna let you have the stage because I know you got a lot to say about that.
Ooh. I'll do the best I can to watch it with that. So I'm a firm believer in what the Lord have in store for you. I believe that the Bible says where there is no vision, the people perish. I believe you have to establish visions for yourself in order to have something to aspire after. If you're not set up with some type of spiritual balance in your life, you're just like anyone else. You have to have something to believe on. You have to have something to hope on. And that's been the biggest thing that has brought me through to where I am today. I've never had a job that has been as successful, if you will. I've had some good jobs where I've held managerial positions, but I've always prayed for exactly what I have now. And
Mm.
I'm very thankful for it. I never forget where the blessing came from. And I encourage every single person that I encounter to have a spiritual relationship with their God, to be a prayerful family. And I've gone into people's houses and we've had church. So it
Oh.
kind of delayed me to my next appointment. I'll be honest about it. But I'm all about the Lord's business. And I believe 100% that the reason why I am where I am today is because of the spirituality that I have, that relationship that I have with God. So
Amen.
yeah,
Amen. I believe that
yeah,
too. I believe it too. And I think
yeah.
it's really important that we you said something, you said you have to have something to hope for. And
Hmm.
with this COVID crisis, can you both talk a little bit about how COVID has changed not only how you do business, but even your personal lives, you know, how are you both coping with business and personal life with as it pertains to COVID?
Well,
Sarah,
I actually feel like, in a way, COVID was somewhat of a eye opener, definitely to show us all that, hey, you know what, we can't be like we were, you know, and it's time for us to realize that we need to be more clean, we need to sanitize more, and that, you know, everybody's life isn't promised. So we definitely need to realize that, and realize that going into this next year, that restoring our faith in the community by sanitizing and being more healthy is definitely what we need, I think.
that, you know, that's an angle that only you could have brought. Because, you know, who's thinking about, can y'all just, I mean, can we just stop for a moment and say we were a dirty nation prior to COVID, and not, you know,
Yeah.
but we're a lot
Yeah.
more clean now. And just the steps that we take when we approach situations now, it will never be the same. You know, you're going to be a lot much more thoughtful about the doors that you touch, and you touch and open and go through, where you sit down. I had a crazy dream last night that I was hugging people. I woke up like, oh my God, what's this crazy nightmare? What was I
That's a
doing?
nightmare.
Yeah, isn't it? You know, why is hugging people a nightmare? But that's just the kind of world that we live in right now. And so it really has made us think more seriously about life. You're absolutely right, Sarah. What about you,
And I
Johnny?
actually have a friend who passed away recently from COVID. So it's hit me harder than and I think it's hit some people that I know. So I'm very emotional when it comes to the cleaning, and how we all need to just think a little bit more than we were thinking yesterday about it. You know, we just need to take those steps to show everybody that we're serious about this, because this is serious. So
what do you say to those people who are not wearing masks, who say science hasn't proven anything, who are adamant about their rights to not have to conform? What do you say to those people who might be listening?
well, I would probably say, when it happens to you or it happens to a family member of yours, I'm pretty sure you'll change your mind. Like, if they don't want to be proactive in helping reduce the numbers, then I mean, that's their choice. But I know for a fact that I'm going to continue to do it at the best part that I can, and do my part in helping. So it's going to change people's minds once they lose someone they love. That's what I have to say. So
Thank you for that. And I agree. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to hear from Johnny and his perspective and take on how COVID has impacted his life and his business. And you're listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I'm Agent Key, and we will be right back. Thank you, guys. We have some comments in the feed here. She says she's so proud of you, Sarah. Somebody trying to spam. She says she's here. Woo woo. Can you see her comment, Sarah, in the feed? Okay. Infiniti, so happy to have you. That's right. Oh, I'm showing comments after things we've already said. I should probably show them as we're talking. Let's see. Hey, Miss Charmaine, how are you, lady?
Charmaine.
Yeah. Okay. So when we come back from the break, we'll have about 7-8 minutes, maybe.
No, you're here.
Am I? Wow.
About 3 minutes later.
Oh. All right. Kool-Aid. So we'll talk about COVID a little bit. And then I want you guys to talk about your experiences. Talk about a pleasant experience and a not so pleasant experience. Johnny, I like how you said you have to find the words to use. I'm gonna have to go back and rewind that. You basically were saying I got to try to not cuss somebody out. I have to find some other words to use that are more professional. when you get upset.
Yeah, you definitely have to. I've had some experiences. This has definitely taught me to be humble and to be
Mm-hmm.
careful with my words. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how am I
Yeah.
projecting? Are you able to hear me clearly?
Oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
He's got one little crackle somewhere, but other than that, he's good.
oh, the crackle that, I think that crackle has something to do with the delay that he's hearing
I
also.
think it does too.
Yeah.
So,
Let me see if I can turn
how
my Wi-Fi
negative?
off.
I wanted to ask you how negative of an experience are we allowed to share?
Um,
I
something
mean,
that you feel that might have the impact of it, it had an impact on you that kind of made you reset, if that makes
okay,
sense. Yeah.
I have some.
Okay.
I have some
Yeah.
good ones and ones. A lot.
Oh yeah.
We have those where where they kind of make you almost rethink what you're doing. Like, do I
Yeah,
want to?
yeah.
And then
I
you
do
decide
have.
to stick it out. Yeah. I
Mhm.
want to hear about that. I had, I've only had a handful of experiences like that in my 16 years in real estate, thankfully. But what I realize is that, and you both probably would agree, you just have to learn that you're going to have a whole bunch of different personalities you got to deal with
Mhm.
and figure out how to deal
Mhm.
with them. Oh, we're coming
Yeah.
back, y'all. Okay. Y'all are doing great.
Mhm.
Hey everyone, we're back. You're listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key and we are selling Sacramento. Today we have special guests streaming live. Instead of in the studio, we are being COVID compliant. Ain't nobody in here except me and Dosty. And we have live streaming Sarah from Infiniti Pro Cleaning and Johnnie Brooks from All Muscle Carpet Cleaning, because we are spotlighting Black-owned businesses that service the real estate sector. And before we went on break, we were talking about the impact that COVID has had not only on our businesses, but in our lives. And Sarah gave us her testimony. There was, and I say testimony, she shared how a close friend of hers actually passed away from COVID. And before we went on the break, she also talked about, she gave some advice to those who are not wanting to wear masks, not wanting to comply because they want to have their right to do what they want to do. And I have to agree with her when she said, I guess you just got to wait until it happens to somebody important to you in order for it to be important, until it happens in your own backyard for those individuals. Unfortunately, that's when they'll comply. But we hope that that people will comply before then, because we can get through this if we're not selfish about the cause, right? So, Mr. Brooks, how has COVID impacted your business and your personal life?
As far as my personal life, I've always been the type to use hand sanitizer because my work truly is so dirty. That's always been on my doors for myself and those who work for me. So there was really no change with that. The mask, I'll admit that it was a little difficult in the beginning. And the reason why is because, I can't help how I look. And so as a stranger coming to someone's door, even though the business was solicited, coming to someone's door with a mask on, even though everyone's very aware of what's going on in the world, there was some effect.
A little
But
bit of
ultimately, I
hesitancy.
figured out a way to actually be able to do it where there was comfort.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I ended up doing is I would, knock on the door, introduce myself, and then from that point, put the mask on. So the distance was still in place, and it made me feel more comfortable with how I was able to, present myself with a mask on. So, I kind of let them see the mask and I'm positioning it, put it on, and it became more comfortable. But as far as how it has impacted, COVID has impacted my business, I'm a firm believer in what God has in mind for you. Nobody can alter or interfere with. So it hasn't impacted my business in a negative way.
Mm.
We're still working, we're still thriving, we're still prayerful. And so we're still working every day like we're supposed to. and I actually use that as an encouragement to a lot of the people who I encounter who are suffering, in an adverse manner, to let them know you just have to keep faith and keep on working. And, where one door closes, you have to knock on the next, and eventually a door will open for you.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. And as we actually take a look at both of your businesses and we put that next to COVID, we can see exactly why your businesses would be thriving right now, because they are seriously needed. They're a part of keeping everybody safe and healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you seeing that same? So because you're saying, Johnnie, that your business has been thriving as a result, not that it wasn't before, but it's boosted even more because of COVID. Is that right?
No, I have to say that it's been neutral, if you will. It hasn't gone up more as far as more business,
Mm-hmm.
but it hasn't been impacted negatively to where I've lost business. And again, I'm a firm believer in what God has in mind for you. It doesn't matter what's happening in this world, you're still going to be okay because you are one of God's children. He don't abandon his kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so he's pulling you through. I know that Infiniti has
Absolutely.
business has increased because of it. I know Leatrice and I had spoken. Sarah, you can attest to that, right?
Yes, I can. And it's increased immensely. And I think that people are really starting to notice, like, hey, if I wasn't as clean before, I'm gonna take the steps to make sure that I'm cleaner now. And I personally wear gloves and mask wherever I go. Even if I'm not cleaning, I wear them anyway. I keep them in my car, extra gloves in my car. I just keep everything like that on me at all times. And I would probably have to say that our business has definitely increased by 50%, since
Wow.
COVID, and it's an essential business now. It's not overlooked as much as it was maybe before. So definitely say business has gotten better.
Yeah, because I would say that if I were prior to COVID, for someone to call a cleaning company in real estate, we call you guys, of course, if the house is getting ready to close escrow, we need the house deep cleaned before the next owner takes possession of the house. Or someone who's getting ready to sell their home will call Infiniti Pro to come and clean the house up so that they could get ready to show it. But otherwise, to hire a cleaning service is almost like a high-end item. It's like, oh, I need to have the maid come over, or I got to hire a cleaning company to come and clean. It's like, oh, okay, you flossing. But now it's like essential. You just said it's essential. We got to set aside a cleaning budget for the whole household so we can get the house cleaned couple times a month now. That's serious business. Do you guys expect that it'll last even after, now that we've got the vaccines coming? What do you think is going to happen?
Actually, I think that people and businesses will continue to get their establishments cleaned because, we have the vaccine coming, but things happen out of nowhere and things happen that we didn't expect. So I think that staying clean and continuing with our cleaning service would definitely be the best bet.
The same level of COVID clean. So if they had the cleaning companies coming scheduled at a different time after COVID, it's even more. So you're suspecting that they are going to keep that higher standard of cleaning.
I think we should. I think that's what it should have been actually before COVID. I think it should have been like this the whole time.
Girl,
truthfully.
you are married to the cleaning game for real. You are not, you're like, look. So tell us, both of you, talk about, I want to know about your experiences in your industries as it pertains to the customers you encounter. So I'd like you to share, I'd like you to share just your number one client service experience. And then let's start with the ones that were not so good. Let's start there, and then we'll end with the positive ones. Who wants to go first?
I'll
Ladies
go first.
Okay,
so I was cleaning at a hotel. I'm not going to say the name, but there was a customer there, and he he kept asking for more things, like, you know, can I have some more towels, or can I have some more shampoos or conditioners? And of course I would bring it to him. And actually at this location, I was doing night audits. So I was there throughout the whole night, and it was just me. And I was controlling when people would come in and out of the gate. So I would have to press a button for them. They'd come in and out. And this man kept ordering more and more things. And so I would bring it to him. And the last time I brought him more towels, he was actually standing there without a towel, just fully nude. And it was definitely not something that I expected. And he offered to do certain things and to give me certain things, and I definitely had to kick him out that night. So
oh my, you know what? Oh,
that
wow.
That's pretty bad experience.
That's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Didn't expect that. What about you, Mr. Brooks?
I have to say there was an experience where I was called out to a property. The carpet was actually pretty bad. Just as soon as I saw the carpet, I notified the owner of what the end result should look like, because once a carpet has gone so far, it kind of comes to a place where there's no repairing that. And ultimately, to be honest, the results came back better than what I expected. And so once I was all done, I took before and after photos, and I was, I headed out of there. And about 24 hours later, the lady contacted me and said that there were some blue spots appearing on the carpet, and she said she believed it came from my equipment. And it's one of those things where you just kind of know what can happen and what's impossible. So to make a long story short, I end up, she made some threats about legal stuff, and she hadn't even given me an opportunity to say, hey, I'll come back out and correct it. She indicated she wanted me to come back that night, which, is the following day. I obviously had a schedule, so she wanted me to abandon everything and attend to what she needed me to do at that particular time. So I end up contacting her husband, because once the communication had became so abrasive, I felt it was more necessary for me to talk to the husband at that point, and I expressed that to him. So he and I set a return date for me to come out and take a look, and then to make adjustments where needed. So I ended up getting back out to the property, and I was immediately able to recognize that those markings that she was talking about were as a result of a toddler in the house that had gotten a hold of a marker. And she wanted to blame it on me. And I explained to the husband that I understood, you paid money and damage happened right away, or something bad happened right away, and you just, you couldn't stomach it. But I expressed to him there's a right way and a wrong way of doing things. And I'm very much a community guy. Oftentimes I give free carpet cleanings. I mean, anything, this is what I do for a living. So there's no struggle. There's no struggle in this.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I do. Like, much like she expressed, it's not work once you're doing something that you enjoy doing. It becomes a love relationship. So there was some words expressed between he and I. In the end, it was a ministry moment. It's come to find out the guy was a bishop, or he had some position in church. But we was able to kind of make it right. I never spoke back to the wife, though. She was actually pretty evasive. He expressed some things about her and some marital issues, and I kind of left that there. But he told me, man, you don't have to live with her.
Wow. Okay. Enough about the bad. So tell us about the good. Tell us about the good.
Well, I would have to say that one day I was going through it, and I was worrying about gas, and I was worrying about bills, and I was worrying about not having enough money, to do what I needed to do for that day. And a customer came up to me and just handed me $100 bill and said, here you go. This is for helping me throughout the week. And I had actually helped her with a lot, because she had about 7 kids and they were all staying in one room. And I was constantly going back and forth, bringing her new sheets, when her kids would mess up the sheets every day, new pillowcases every day, comforters, duvets every day, back and forth. And she just handed me some money one day, and I was like, wow. And I really needed it that day. Like, I needed it. And she really helped me out with that. And I can always thank her for that. Yeah. She said she appreciates all my.
Mm-hmm.
It helped a lot. That was
He looking out for you, girl. Mr. Brooks.
I think my greatest experiences and moments have been when I give free services throughout the year. So randomly throughout the year, I go out and I'll announce on social media that, you know, if there's a family out there where they're not in the best financial position to afford carpet cleaning, I don't need to know exactly what it is that you're going through, because that's between you and God. I'm just asking that you be honest, and I'll go out, get them on schedule for service, and I'll give free carpet cleaning. And there was one particular occasion where the woman had brain surgery, and there was some issues that she had. And I just remember me going out to do that for her. It was such a big deal for her. And I remember her telling me that I was God sent. And for somebody to make that type of a notation about you, I mean, and you know what your passion is, you know what you're doing, you know the intention of your heart. And for somebody to recognize it as such, I mean, that's pretty rewarding. You know, it's always been the free carpet cleaners that I give where I get the best feeling from it.
Mm-hmm. Where you're giving and not on the receiving end all the time. Yeah.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's amazing. You know what, you guys, thank you so much for being on the show today. I am excited that you were able to jump on and be our first video stream call for the show. Thank you again. Thank you, Miss Leatrice. I know she's listening and watching. And before we go, Sarah, if people want to utilize Infiniti Pro Cleaning services, do you guys have website and phone number? How do they connect with you?
Well, we have a website, and it's iproclean.com, or you can email at iproclean@gmail.com.
So iproclean.com, iproclean.com,
Yes.
or
Yes.
shoot you an email at, did you say
Yes, iproclean@gmail.com.
iproclean@gmail.com. Thank you. Thank you so much. Mr. Brooks, how about you? How do we connect with you?
You can reach me on any social media platform at All Muscle Carpet Cleaning, either on Facebook, or you can reach me at www.allmusclecarpetcleaning.com, or you can reach me by phone, 916-955-4982. Either is fine.
Say the number again. Somebody went to run and get their pencil.
Okay, we go 916-955-4982.
Thank you. Again, thank you both for joining us today. And to everyone listening, thank you for listening in. And remember, if you are doing what you were created to do, I will see you at the top. Bye-bye.
Amen.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
That's
so much.
it. It's a wrap. Thank you. And let's see what's going on here in the chat. I'm listening while driving to Folsom. Thank you so much for having us. Oh, awesome. You're welcome, you guys. And I will see y'all next time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, guys. Thank you so much, Keisha. Thank you, the show. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I
Bye,
appreciate
guys.
it.